for evil, see it better for my good. For my good. Oh yeah, praise Jehovah. Praise Jehovah. He's a good father. He's a good father. What the enemy meant for evil, see it better for my good. For my good.
Introduction, national anthem. Hi, DJ. Have you said? Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Let me reduce my volume small. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, your volume is reduced. Maybe I should increase this more. Good morning. Good morning. All right, making Africa a tech continent. Making Africa a tech continent. We are warming up. Making Africa a tech continent. Good morning, everyone. You're welcome to today's edition of Mind Talk, and this is the third edition. We are currently in the month of April. That's the fourth edition, not the third. Don't mind me. The fourth edition of Mind Talk that we are having, and today is a very special day. Very, very special day. One of the reasons why it's special is because, number one, today is Mind Talk, and today is the first Monday of the month. Can we have a round of applause for that, please? The second reason why today is special is because today is our rector's birthday. And this is what I want us to do before we move towards that session. I want us in our minds, if you know you are soprano, keep your soprano. If you know you are alto, keep your alto. We're going to sing for the rector. Alright, so without wasting so much of our time, shall we rise up to respect and honor the country that we are in, our beautiful country. And we are going to start this by taking the national anthem. Are we ready? National anthem. 1, 2, go. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. We're going to take the SQI anthem next. Do we have that projected? For some of you, that is the first time. Mr. Faith, you help us to calm down small. Do we have it projected already? All right, so this is how we're going to take it. Is all projected for some of us that don't know our anthem. Can we go? third continent. Making Africa a third continent. All right, can we all have our please sit? How many of us paid attention to, especially if you're just hearing the SQ anthem for the very first time, and how many of us paid attention to the lyrics? What are the things that stood out in the lyrics to you? Time. What else stood out to you? Team. What else stood out to you? Mind. So one of the things that we come here to do, especially if this is your first time, one of the things that we come here to do is this. When you are in class, you learn the skills. So some of you learn how to code, some of you learn how to program, some of you learn how to design, right? Some of you learn how to shoot videos. But beyond that, there are other skills that are required for you in the workplace. So it's not just the skills that we have right now or that we are learning that we are going to put out in the workplace. Your skills can get you a job, but your characters keep you there. So things like teamwork, for example, you notice every single person, for some of you that have copied and pasted CVs before, do you always notice that ability to work with a team is always there? Welcome, sir. Do you notice? You've never paid attention to it because I know you just copy and paste it. But a lot of organizations require these things. How do you work with a team? Is your mind in a proper position? How do you manage your time? These are some of the things that we talk about at Mind Talk. How do you manage your network? The last time that Pastor Tayo was here with us, he talked about the power of mentorship. If you did not watch or you missed any of this, you can always go back to our YouTube page to check it out. Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. Some people have gained access to positions in life, not because of their skills, but because they know how to maximize the power of mentorship. Are we following? So I need you to pay attention to this. As much as you pay attention in your classes, as much as you pay attention to JavaScript, as much as you pay attention to Figma, pay attention to the things that you're going to be learning here. They are very, very powerful to you as an individual and to the organization wherever you may find yourself in the world. Do we get that? All right. Can you have this? Wonderful. How many of us can see the topic for today? Can we read it out? Overcoming. You know, when I first saw this theme, I laughed a bit because this is very, very true and it's profound in our world. Because I said, read this out now. Only about 20 to 30% of people read it out. You see that? Because we have the culture of silence inbuilt. And this is one of the things that the pastor that we're going to be bringing today, Pastor Tayo Shubawale, is going to be talking to us about. How can you overcome the culture of silence? Don't let me break or remove the cat out of the bag. Let me just leave that to Pastor Tayo to do. Let me take a little bit of introduction of Pastor Tayo Shubawale for some of you that are meeting him for the very first time. So the very first time that I met with him, he came around for Mind Talk, and all the words he said, I literally could remember almost every single thing that he said. They were that impactful to me. So if I were you, one of the things I will bring out is my notes. If you don't have a note right here, bring out your phone and type, and then pay attention to the things that he shares with us. Pastor Tayo is the CEO of what you call the Pitch Enterprise. If you've not heard of the Pitch Enterprise, you need to make a research on it. Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. I've heard Pastor Tayo talk a couple of times at amazing, amazing places, and the words that came out of him were like arrows. Don't let me make descriptions now. But they were like arrows piercing to the heart. And I know that if you pay attention today to the words are going to be able to transform your mind, and it's going to shape the way we think and we reason. So without further ado, introduce, with a standing at the clapping ovation, please. A standing at the clapping ovation, please. A standing at the clapping ovation, please. I'd like to bring in Pastor Tayo Shubawale. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, good morning, everybody. You may please be seated. If I were to... Okay, first let me greet our rector, happy birthday. It's a good one. I lost my voice to a birthday ceremony. That was yesterday, and on Friday. Yeah. So I'm in the mood of celebration. So celebrating his birthday today is also pivotal for me to say a big happy birthday to our rector. Can we please celebrate him? He's not on seat. He's enjoying himself. All right, and I also want to thank the management of SQI. Doctor, thank you very much, sir, for bringing me here again. It's always challenging when we have mandates to fulfill and there are no platforms to get them across. No matter how much you're prepared, you still need a platform to discharge whatever it is that you've been prepared with. So I really appreciate this opportunity. Once again, I want to say a big thank you, sir. And also the Mind Talk team. I've not seen Prof yet. I want to thank you also for thinking of bringing me here to discuss something this vital, this very important. It tells me that I'm honored, and I will not take that for granted. And also to all students, I won't be speaking to empty chairs and think I'm having impact. Thank you also for coming. And I will so much appreciate if you can give your rapt attention with these very few minutes. Quickly, I would like to go straight to the point. If I'm going to tell you to break silence now, as you are seated, break silence. You are all silent and attentive. If I tell you talk, whatever it is that you're going to say is a function of who you are. Who you are. If I say speak French, you might remain silent because you do not understand French. If I say speak German, you might remain silent because you do not understand German. If I greet you in Spanish, you might not be able to respond. You might just give a look. You might not be able to break the silence. So what does that mean? It means that breaking silence is not just the ability to make sound, but to make impact with your sound. I believe you're following here. So one of the basic things that you can use in breaking silence is introducing yourself. How does that place you? For example, for me to come up here, my brother did not introduce me or say some very nice words that flattered me, actually sweeping my feet. Thank you very much for that. Before coming here, you might not be this attentive. If you just dropped the mic and I picked up the mic and I started talking, you might not be this attentive. Some of you might not be with your notes, with your writing materials, because there is no introduction of who is coming to break silence next. Are you getting the point now? You don't have an idea of who is coming. I just pick up the mic and releasing something meaningful, but you will not be attentive. What does that tell you? Being able to introduce yourself is the first thing you need to pay attention to before you can think of breaking silence effectively. Are you following? For example, thank God for, I'm not used to calling him doctor, I'm used to calling him pastor. My big brother, Pastor Derito, at the point when I was discussing with him, of course here in SQI, he was teaching me how to break the silence to first introduce myself. He didn't know that what they are bringing me back here to do is what he taught me in his room, in his office. He told me, your LinkedIn, how much are you using your LinkedIn? And I think we've dealt with that here, Mr. Adebayo, what's her name now? That vital young lady that came to talk, Mercy Ajibade, thank you. I remember she came here to talk about using the LinkedIn. That is one of the places where your identity can be pronounced. You want to break silence? When I was preparing, sir, you know what I concluded that? We don't really have much to say. I just need to tell you are in the right place. And please, as much as you pay attention in your classes to become a tech guru, please don't miss the impact of Mind Talk. When I was preparing, sir, this topic is wide. Very wide. Breaking silence, extremely wide. But in conclusion, I considered what brought about Mind Talk. And I realized that Mind Talk is actually have been staged to overcome silence in Africa, starting from here. I'm not surprised that our anthem reads that we are changing Africa one mind at a time. One mind. That alone tells you that the focus of SQI is to achieve this feat. So, but please let me still give you a little bit of teaching. I know all this mind discussion might not really be going down with you. Let's first talk about silence. Let's talk about silence. Let's break it first. Can you tell your neighbor what your name is? Introduce yourself to your neighbor quickly. I might be asking you to tell me about your neighbor. Please find a neighbor. Some of you are not talking. All right, we are going to do that again, but can we please pause for now? Did you notice something? That when you were about to talk to your neighbor, there was a problem, there was a major problem you faced. What was it? Who goes first? So at the time, two of you were trying to speak at the same time, and then there was a barrier of who goes first. Until that is settled, there will be it will be noise, even if you are breaking silence. With that arrangement in your mind arranged in an array of duty, your silence will become a noise to the society. Some of us are here seated, you want to do a lot of things at the same time. You are in graphics class, you walk past the video editing class, and you're like, I wish to join you guys. You are in programming class, you walk by the graphics class, and you're like, wow. So in your mind, you don't have a definition of what exactly you want to say in the society. At that point, you might have conflict of sound. Happy birthday, sir. Conflict of sound. And yeah, please let's celebrate our birthday. Happy birthday, sir. Are you following, please? So you might have conflict of sound. You are trying to say this and say this and say this and say this. And that's the first thing you need to know to define who is speaking. Who is the one speaking? So when I tell you now that introduce yourself to your neighbor, what is the first thing you should do? You go first. There must first be an agreement of array before sound will become music and not noise. Am I following? Am I following? Am I following means am I still in the context of what we are discussing? Okay, so who is speaking? Now introduce yourself to each other. Now, thank you. Oh, this class is practical. Now you will see something else in the next. If I tell of you to do it again, you will see a conflict of you go first, no, you go first. You go first, no, you go first. You go first, no, you go first. And we remain on that spot. You know what I'm bringing out? It's practical, your mind. Africans, blacks, are more or less operating sometimes as programmed Turkey, you know. Program what now? Robots. I hope we'll get to this core. Because all we need to get is just a so this is it, and it changes everything. I've just taught you go first, you go first, you go first, you go first. Now that's where we're going to stay. To the extent that you even forget what you want to say. You go first, you go first. Have you noticed that Nigeria trends more than any other nation? And we are not tired of trending trends. You know why? We are operating like robots. So we are not really speaking to make impact. We are not voices, we are echoes. The real voice is somewhere from a tweet, and everybody echoes it for the next 3 days. And if you're not doing it, you are wrong. So when we talk about overcoming, I say, who are you? You can see what is controlling what is speaking. So are you really a, look at how big this speaker is. It's making sound. It's not the one controlling the sound. This my brother here, we press one button, and these guys is two big boys, vocal boys. They start making the sound. You cannot come here and change the sound, no matter how much you try. Are you this or that? There are so many people speaking so loud, yet they are not talking. So when we talk about addressing silence, are we talking about you being vocal or making impact? You will see it has to do with you. Let me help you a little more before I continue with my notes. Do you know that, okay, there was a time when I learned a lesson, sir. I was at I was at a place also to speak. Though this time around is more of in a religious gathering. And I had to be cajoling people to make responses, even to blessings. And when I was like, Shema alone the blessing. Why are they still? And I got a teaching that if somebody as big and known should come here and whisper, God bless you, you will hear the amen resounding for seconds without stopping. Crowd and millions of people. But if you should shout, God bless you, just amen. You know what I learned? That was when I learned this vital message. Your integrity is what determines the response to what you say out there. So the person that says God bless you and the people shout have built integrity over the years. So when I just say, why don't you people come to SQI? This SQI will be coming. Why don't you? I have people that are connecting online now because I'm the one speaking here. Why don't you come to SQI? It's a good place. They call them influencers. And you see a number of people moving in the direction of a voice that you did not hear, but you see men moving. I would have said, say something. Of course, saying something is also protest. NSAS was saying something. We will not agree with the INEC is saying something. The way Nigeria Tibaje is saying something. Pressure Tiwa is saying something. Efo Ibole is saying something. I know you understand that. He's saying something. You know, sometimes you see these people on the news and you are thinking maybe some people will hear them. No. You know, when NSAS was the protest was going on, I sat back and I was, though before you talk it takes time, and I said this thing must be coordinated and have a leader that will be your voice that can connect to where impact. Everybody speaking at the same time will not change anything. It will end in riot.